Imagine a world hidden in plain sight, where billions vanish into thin air, where secret deals shape economies, and where power is wielded in the shadows. Tonight, we dive into the thrilling, enigmatic realm of offshore financial centers. In the next 30 minutes, we'll uncover the covert networks and high-stakes operations behind the world's most notorious tax havens. Picture this: a midnight rendezvous in a secluded luxury yacht off the coast of Monaco. Documents exchanged under the cover of darkness, a deal that could alter global markets in seconds. What if I told you that this isn't fiction? It's the shadow world of offshore finance, where secrets, power, and billions collide. Stay tuned as we peel back the layers of intrigue, deception, and high finance. Our story begins decades ago. Offshore financial centers emerged as a response to an evolving global economy. As governments tightened controls and raised tax rates, wealthy individuals and corporations started seeking sanctuary in far-off paradises. These havens promised low or even zero taxation, confidentiality, and a world away from bureaucratic oversight. Early pioneers found that by setting up companies in places like the Cayman Islands, Bermuda, and Switzerland, they could legally sidestep steep taxes. But soon, what began as a niche financial maneuver transformed into a sophisticated network, enabling the flow of trillions of dollars around the globe. As globalization accelerated, offshore centers became a linchpin in global finance, providing not only tax benefits, but also a veil of secrecy that, in some cases, has allowed illicit activities to thrive. This dual-edged sword is at the heart of our story. So, what exactly is an offshore financial center? In its simplest form, it's a jurisdiction with a regulatory environment designed to attract foreign business and wealth. These centers offer favorable tax regimes, confidentiality, and minimal reporting requirements, making them an ideal playground for those seeking financial anonymity. At the core of these centers are legal constructs like shell companies and trusts, tools that can be used for legitimate planning, but have also been exploited to hide ownership and facilitate money laundering. With just a few signatures and a trusted intermediary, vast sums can be shielded from prying eyes. It's not just about evading taxes. It's about creating layers upon layers of financial obfuscation. For every dollar stashed away, there are complex networks designed to hide its true origin, making it nearly impossible for regulators to track the flow of money. But with great secrecy comes great opportunity for the criminal, the corrupt, and those looking to exploit the system. Offshore centers have been linked to money laundering, corruption, tax evasion, and even the financing of terrorism. Every year, billions are siphoned away from public coffers, weakening economies, and undermining trust in global financial systems. Think about the implications. Essential public services, education, healthcare, all starved of the funds they desperately need. Meanwhile, the elite who benefit from these havens remain shielded, living lives of unimaginable luxury while the rest of us pay the price. Investigative reports have exposed how layers of secrecy not only conceal wealth, but also facilitate vast criminal enterprises. These networks operate globally, linking bankers in Zurich, lawyers in London, and oligarchs in obscure tropical paradises. The complexity is staggering, and the human cost is immeasurable. Let's shift gears and examine some real-life cases that bring this hidden world into sharp focus. Consider the infamous case of Name Redacted, a powerful tycoon who used a labyrinth of offshore accounts to hide illicit gains from corrupt government deals. His story reads like a thriller, a blend of power, betrayal, and an eventual dramatic reckoning. In another instance, a major international bank was caught in a massive scandal where billions of dollars were funneled through its subsidiaries into secret accounts, ultimately leading to a historic crackdown by global authorities. These aren't isolated incidents, they are symptoms of a much larger systemic issue. Each case reveals how the very tools designed for financial efficiency can be twisted into instruments of evasion and abuse. The consequence? A financial ecosystem where accountability is minimal and the powerful operate with near impunity. The fallout from these practices has not gone unnoticed. Governments and international bodies have been forced to confront the challenge head-on. Recent years have seen unprecedented efforts to increase transparency and crack down on illegal activities. Organizations like the OEC and the Financial Action Task Force have spearheaded initiatives to force offshore centers into the light. New regulations, stricter reporting requirements, and the rise of whistleblower protections have all begun to dismantle the veil of secrecy. Yet, progress is slow, and the shadow networks are deeply entrenched. While some regions have tightened their grip, many offshore centers continue to operate under outdated laws or are backed by powerful interests that resist change. The battle for transparency in global finance is far from over, and the stakes couldn't be higher. So, how do these shadow networks really work? Let's break it down. It starts with the creation of a shell company, a legal entity that exists on paper, but not in the physical world. This company can be owned by another company, creating layers that obscure the true owner. Next, funds are transferred through a maze of accounts in multiple jurisdictions. Each transaction is carefully designed to blend in with legitimate financial flows. Advanced techniques like round-tripping and trade misinvoicing further complicate the trail, making it nearly impossible for authorities to trace the money back to its source. Behind the scenes, a network of lawyers, accountants, and bankers collaborate to ensure that every loophole is exploited. Their expertise in local laws, combined with advanced digital encryption, creates a system that is as resilient as it is opaque. These methods aren't just clever, they're deliberately designed to frustrate regulators and auditors. Even when suspicious activity is flagged, the layers of legal and financial complexity can delay or even prevent investigations. While the elite reap the rewards of offshore secrecy, everyday citizens bear the burden. When billions vanish from the tax base, public services suffer. Education, healthcare, infrastructure, all are compromised by the lost revenue that could have funded these essential systems. The story is not just about money, it's about fairness, accountability, and the social contract between a government and its people. Every secret offshore account represents a missed opportunity to build better communities, to invest in our future, and to level the playing field. The ripple effects of this financial secrecy can be seen around the world, from crumbling infrastructure in developing nations to the widening gap between the rich and the poor in advanced economies. The cost is ultimately borne by those who can least afford it. Looking ahead, the future of offshore finance hangs in the balance. As technology advances and data flows become ever more interconnected, the pressure mounts on governments to modernize their regulatory frameworks. Some experts predict sweeping reforms that could finally dismantle these shadow networks once and for all. On the other hand, entrenched interests and the immense profits involved mean that change will not come easily. The very institutions that benefit from these opaque systems are often the ones standing in the way of reform. We are at a crossroads. Will transparency triumph, or will the shadow world continue to thrive? Innovations in blockchain and digital currencies offer a glimmer of hope, promising a future where transactions are transparent and traceable. Yet, even these technologies come with their own set of challenges and risks. The digital revolution could either become the tool that finally brings offshore finance into the light, or a new frontier for even more sophisticated evasion. Throughout our journey, we've heard from investigative journalists, financial experts, and even former insiders. Their voices provide a rare glimpse into an opaque world, where every secret revealed is a victory against the status quo. These insights remind us that the fight for transparency is not just about money, it's about justice, fairness, and the very foundation of our global society. As we near the end of our exploration, one thing is clear. The shadow world of offshore financial centers is a story that is still being written. New scandals, new regulations, and new technologies will continue to shape this hidden realm for years to come. The journey we've taken today, from the adrenaline rush of secret deals to the sober reality of lost public funds, reveals a complex web where the line between legal ingenuity and criminal exploitation is perilously thin. It's a reminder that in our interconnected world, nothing truly happens in the dark.